Guillen caught that one. Looked like he caught it right toward the heel of his glove there. But that is the inning. Todd Walker taking one out to make it a one-run game. The Oakland Athletics 4, the Boston Red Sox 3. Now the 7th inning. And Rubiel Durazo takes a strike. Last night, as the game headed into the late innings, it was a tie game. This time Boston, which must win to stay alive, is down a run. And the big hitters are coming up for Oakland here against Wakefield. Durazo bounces one to Millar, and he is gone. Durazo now 1 for 4 in the game. Chavez and Tejada still to come. This series has been so tightly played, as in 26 of the 38 innings played in this series, the game's either been tied or just one run has separated the teams, and many of those
there's Pedro. He's hoping to get a start tomorrow where he feels like, you know, he'll have full rest and he can get the job done for the Red Sox.
Chavez taking a ball. And it is 2-0. Chavez 0 for 3 in the game. Could Oakland win a series where their two top sluggers, Chavez and Tejada, both got entirely shut down? I mean, they're ahead in this series, and they're ahead in this game. If they can stay ahead today, they win. Even though Chavez is 0 for 17, he's only had 1 walk in this series. That's the only time he's been on base. Tejada is 1 for 18 with no walks in the series. But they lead the series, and they lead this game. 2-0 on the count. That one is hit well out toward the triangle, deep into right center field. Damon is going to have to go chase it, but it bounces up over the wall for the automatic double out near that 420-foot sign in deep right center, and that is a place where you hit triples.
Well, that looked like it was going to be a triple, but it bounced into the seats, you know, and that kept Chavez from running. He hit that ball pretty well. He hits it in what they call the triangle here. I mean, watch this ball. If it stays in, it would have been a triple, but it bounces up, and they call it a ground rule double. But if it hits the fence here and bounces down, I think Chavez could have had a triple out of it.
And you see some weird things happen when balls bouncing around in that area. And all those angles. That's a strike to Tejada, who was 0 for 3 today. I mean, if that one had hit off that wall to the right, it could come back and hit off the center field wall, and sometimes you see him start bouncing back and forth. Every once in a while, a ball will get stuck in that big doorway out there. The pickoff throw to second. Chavez dives back in. So Chavez with his first hit of this series. This is from the blimp on that double by Chavez. The Red Sox got a break when it bounced out of play. Now to Tejada.
Actually, he swung and missed, but that's the first full swing that he's taken in a while. He's been, you know, trying to hit a line drive to right field in most of his at-bats in today's ball game. He hit the ball hard last time up to the first baseman, trying to go to right.
The pitcher is basically entirely in the shadows now, as is the batter, with the bright background that the hitter is looking into. In the left center, Damon coming in a little bit. To put the glasses down on that one. Holding at second is Chavez. 2 down. Tejada had 106 RBIs in the regular year, 278 average. Chavez 101, hit 282. Only 2 hits and 37 at-bats for the two of them in this series. And yet Oakland, so far, they're doing just fine without him. They lead. Here's Hatterberg. He's been on base twice today and has scored twice. That's a strike. Knuckleball from Wakefield. He walked leading off to second and scored a run. And then he singled leading off to sixth. which started a 3-run rally.
And if you're Chavez at second base, you've got to fight to get a big lead because you want to try to score on a base hit to left field or any place else with 2 outs.
There's a foul. Going over is Miller, and he falls into the seats. Does he have the ball?
Yes, he's out. Yeah, he gave it up.
So Bill Miller with a sensational catch to end the inning. You run out of room in a hurry chasing a foul pop in this yard. 4-3 Oakland. Nixon coming up. Game 4 of the American League Division Series. Oakland 4, the Red Sox 3. Boston facing extinction if they can't come back in this one. Now tonight on Sunday Night Football, it'll be the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers beat the Browns 3 times last year, but by a total of 9 points. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern with NFL Primetime. The Browns and the Steelers, 2 longtime rivals in the NFL on ESPN and ESPN HD tonight. Trot Nixon. Last night he was the one with a 2-run homer over the center field wall to keep the Red Sox going in this series. That was in the 11th inning. And afterward they found out that Trot had joined many of his teammates in his haircut almost all off. Trot was not in the ball game last night until he came up as a pinch hitter in the 11th inning. And they wouldn't mind if he hit another one here. They're down a run. Nixon today has lined out to the first baseman, and he has walked. Facing Rincon, the Oakland bullpen is working. The right-handed, the switch hitting Miller is on deck, and another switch hitter, Varitek, behind him. And it's ball 1. Nixon only 2 hits and 11 career at-bats against Rincon as Chad Bradford, the submarine ball throwing right-hander, is getting ready. Sun shining, pitcher and the batter both in the shadows. And slider, got it by him. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is, I mean, you've said many times, this one's real tough when the hitter and the pitcher are both in the shadows with the bright background.
Yeah, well, it's always difficult anytime you have shadows, but this is probably the most difficult time.
Ball and a strike. Williamson up in the Boston bullpen, as you saw. That's into right center field. That's a base hit. Hustling over is Burns. Nixon, remember, he's got that bad calf, and he'll be content with a single. Bill Miller will come up.
And the question is, what do you do here? You got a batting champion hitting now. Do you bunt or do you go for it? Not a bad pitch. It was up a little bit, but give the hitter credit for finding the gap in right field.
So there's Nixon, the possible tying run at first. Nobody out. Miller 0 for 1 with a walk in this game. He's not bunting. This could be 2, though. Chavez the second one. Ellis to first. Double play.
Man, he's good. I tell you, he makes everything look so simple over there. I'm speaking of Chavez. I mean, that ball, that was a tough play, and he gives him a perfect throw at second every time. So that all Ellis has to do is play catch with the first baseman. I mean, this play, everything is made here by Chavez. I mean, the perfect throw. He gets in front of the ball, gets it over to him quickly, and Ellis, all he has to do is turn it over.
I mean, you don't want to see a third baseman get rid of it more quickly.
No, I mean, but it looks so easy. Look at this. Boom, it's there. Look at that. I mean, you just play catch if you're the second baseman. Watch what he does. Well, we didn't see it soon enough. One of the things that Chavez does that a lot of other third basemen don't do, he opens up to throw to second base. He doesn't throw across his body ever, and he's so accurate.
Here's Varitek. Now, Varitek has been more powerful as a right-handed hitter. 10 homers and only 136 at-bats. Right-handed, a .309 average right-handed. He has 1 homer in this series. He is 0 for 2 today, but he scored a run. And the Damon homer back in the 3rd. 4-3, Oakland ahead, last of the 7th. Rincon is in his second inning of work. When he used to be with Pittsburgh, remember he went from Pittsburgh to Cleveland in the deal that sent Brian Giles to Pittsburgh. At that time, he was probably the best left-handed reliever in the National League. And he was not a guy that would be, well, that's ruled a swing on the appeal. Jim Joyce, the first base umpire, making the ruling. It's only 2 to Baratek. But Rincon was always a guy who pitched 1 or 2 innings. He was not just a left-handed specialist. But when he got to Cleveland, they preferred, that he came in and face a couple of lefties. But he's being used today the way he used to be used in Pittsburgh. This is his second inning of work. Bradford ready in the bullpen. And Rincon throws out Baratek. A 7-pitch inning for Rincon. Jose Guillen will be coming up. He's had 2 hits today. 4-3, Oakland.
ESPN's presentation of the 2003 MLB Division Series. Brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two.
Sailing on the Charles. You better do it while you still can. Starting to get cool here in New England. Coming up at 4 o'clock, 3 Central on ESPN. The Yankees and the Twins. David Wells, who won his 200th game the final day of the year, will try and get the Yankees into the League Championship Series. He's up against Johan Santana, the young Twins lefty, who was very impressive until his leg cramped up at Yankee Stadium last Tuesday. It's coming up on ESPN, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central. And if we're still on here, the start of that game will be carried on ESPN 2. Scott Williamson in for the Boston bullpen. He got the win here last night. He pitched a perfect 11th inning, and then Trot Nixon homered in the last half of the inning. Williamson has pitched in every game of this series. Guillen, the hitter. These were teammates most of this year in Cincinnati. Williamson was the closer. Guillen was the leading hitter.
So Guillen has really swung the bat well today. 2 singles and a line out.
Miller robbed him back in the 6th inning. 2-0. On the outside for a strike. 2-1. Keith Foulke, the Oakland closer, and you speculated on that earlier, Joe, that they might go with Foulke the last 2 if they were ahead. Well, he's getting ready for the 8th right now. Mel Hughes on deck. Blew that one right by. 2-2. Oakland has 11 hits in this game. They've put 13 men on base. They lead 4-3. Boston only has 4 hits. And the slider low and inside. Full count. Williamson in this series, coming into this game, has been in all 3 of the previous games and has worked 3 scoreless innings with 5 strikeouts. Giving up a couple of hits. There's Mel Hughes, who's had a 3-for-3 game. That fastball, he hit it off his foot. Guillen playing with that broken bone in his hand near his wrist. He hits one down off his foot. Three and 2 the count.
Well, Guillen has been a big part of what the A's have done today. You would figure in the first run they scored by getting a base hit after Hatherberg had walked.
And fouled back and out of play. Still 3 and 2.
And he didn't play in last night's ball game because of the soreness in his hand. So, I mean, I think that he's become a very integral part of this ball club. And they have a very good outfield when he's out there with Jermaine Dye and Burns. I mean, a lot of ground covered by that group.
Still 3 and 2. And he jammed him with that fastball. Damon with the glasses there, battling the sun. He makes the catch. All right, let's go to our friend Gary Miller.
John, you know, Pedro Martinez took a lot of criticism for flying ahead of the team during certain trips this year when he was next to pitch. He was given that option today, and he chose to stay with the team, as did Barry Zito. Now, Zito's staying, hoping he can celebrate a victory with his team, but nobody has checked out of their hotel yet. Logistically, they're going to stay in town. If they can clinch tonight, they'll be watching that Yanks-Twins broadcast with special interest, because they'll just stay on the East Coast if they should happen to open in New York.
Thank you, Gary. And Mel Hughes lifts a foul out of play. Grady Little, the Boston manager, said, hey, we're hoping for a trip to Oakland. We'll be overjoyed if we could fly to Oakland. He said the A's, they are dreading a possible trip to Oakland. They're hoping to clinch it here today, as Gary said, and then find out if they're going to go home to face the Twins or go on to New York to start the League Championship Series. And Slater misses to Mel Hughes. Mel Hughes in his first postseason game today. Only playing because Ramon Hernandez has a strained lower back, and Mel Hughes has had 3 hits in 3 at-bats, 2 singles and a triple. His triple drove in the tying run in the 6th inning. It came moments before Jermaine Dye's 2-run homer put the Athletics ahead. Dontrell Willis, the sensational Florida Marlins rookie, in his first postseason game, also had 3 hits yesterday. Of course, he also pitched. 2-1 the count. So I guess it's not that big a deal that Mel Hughes got 3 hits in his first postseason game. Well, all the first-timers are doing it.
Well, it's a big deal for the A's because, I mean, they may not have scored many runs in this ball game without him. I mean, you said he's 3 for 3, but the last one, the triple, was the big blow.
Going to keep to their offense. 3-2. That had some sinking action on that fastball. 93 miles an hour. 3-2 the count. Jermaine Dye has driven in 3 of the 4 Oakland runs today. Is on deck. One hop to Miller. Over to Millar. Number 2. Well, here comes Dye, trying to salvage otherwise a lost season. He's having a big day today.
Well, if you're an RBI man, you do what you're supposed to do. You get the ball to the outfield, and then you know what he's been throwing you. You sit on it. He threw him a curveball, and he hit it out.
That was the first home run hit by Oakland in this series. Dye 2 for 3 today. The one time he didn't get a hit, Todd Walker made a diving catch of his little squib back in the 4th inning with a runner at second. It could have been trouble if Walker had not caught it before it bounced. 1 ball and no strikes to Jermaine Dye. I mean, 2 years ago, Oakland would not even have made the postseason without Dye. He was great after they acquired him from Kansas City. That's a fastball for a strike. But in Game 4 of the division series that year, 2 years ago against the Yankees, against an El Duque sinker, he hit the foul ball down off his left shin, fractured the shin. And that began a series of injuries that he's had to battle with the last 2 years. 1-2 to count. Dye hit only 172 this year. But obviously, Ken Mocka views that as an aberration. He knows what's really there.
Well, he got healthier and healthier as the season progressed. And he told me last week he felt great.
And he struck him out. Another strong inning for Williamson. 4 shutout innings for him in his 4 games pitched in this series. The top of the order coming up for the Red Sox.
We got Game 4 between the Yankees and the Twins. Jason Giambi trying to help finish off Minnesota. It's coming up 4 o'clock Eastern time. It doesn't look like we'll be done with the Red Sox. We'll start this game on ESPN2 if that's the case, guys.
All right. So here we go. Into the Boston half of the 8th inning, and Keith Foulke, the outstanding Oakland closer, has come on to pitch. Johnny Damon leads it off, the top of the Boston batting order. Damon takes ball 1. He has hit a 2-run homer today in 3 trips to the plate. Nomar Garciaparra and Todd Walker will follow. the screen. Now Folk, in that huge game 1, the game that went deep into the night in Oakland, which Oakland finally won in the Ramon Hernandez bunt, Folk helped make that happen with 3 shutout innings. He threw 51 pitches in that game, and then came back and pitched another inning the next afternoon. Tejada back in, and he throws him out.
Nice play. That's the defense that the Oakland A's have not showed us, you know, the first couple of games of this series. That's a tough play. That ball took a hop, came up on him with the Speedy Damon running. It was a tough play. And watch at the last. Watch this ball come up. See that? I mean, he had to stay with it, and then he had to show this strong arm to be able to get the Speedy Damon. Nice play.
Folk 10 times this year. And most closers are just 1 inning and that's it. Folk had 10 saves this year of at least 2 innings. That's a breaking ball for a strike to Nomar, who was 0 for 3 in this game. Folk known for his great changeup, but he actually has a little pop on that fastball too. Walker on deck, and a pop-up foul. And back out of play. 0-2 the count.
Anytime you have a great changeup, it makes your fastball better because, you know, they're looking to have to wait a little longer, make sure it's not the changeup, and it just adds about 5 or 6 inches to your fastball.
Folk was in 72 games this year, pitched 86 2/3 innings. That curveball is too low. He won 9 games with 1 loss and had 43 saves. And in 86 2/3 innings, he only allowed 57 hits. He did give up 10 home runs, though. Nomar chased that high fastball and fouled it straight back.
I think the interesting thing is he won 9 games, you know, that he was in where it was a tie ball game. You look at most closers, and a lot of them even have losing records, 2-3, 3-4, or whatever. But he won the games that they put him in when it was a tie score.
Well, and it was very similar last year. Billy Koch was the closer, and Art Howe was the manager, and they had a very similar kind of a record. That one is hit well. Left center field. That ball is off the wall. Burns plays the carom as Nomar is standing at second with a double.
I don't know what the pitch was, but it was up. I don't know, it breaks down in a way, actually, not down, but it was away. And Nomar hit it. If he pulls that ball, it's out.
And Nomar hitting that ball actually was hitting it against the wind. The wind is blowing in from left and across toward right at the moment. Todd Walker coming up. He's hit 3 homers in the series, including this one in the 6th inning. So here's Walker. A base hit to the outfield could suffice right here. Nomar at second, 1 out. And there's that changeup, 0-1. Walker joins 3 other Red Sox hitters who've hit 3 homers in a single postseason series. Yaz did it in the World Series in 1967 against the Cardinals. Well, he buzzes him right into the chin with that fastball. Nomar hit 3 homers in a series against Cleveland in 98. John Valentin hit 3 against Cleveland in 99. Walker's got 3 in this one. Garcia Pilot second, 1 out. 4-3 Oakland. Making Nomar go back to the bag. The outfield is backed up. Of course, there's a limit to how far back you can go in left field here, which is a small field to begin with. Ian, remember, in left field has a very strong arm. That's going to go right into the glove of Eric Burns.
And that was some good hitting there by Walker. I mean, he just stayed with that pitch and rolled it the other way, but he hit it too hard.
So now Manny Ramirez.
Number 24, Manny Ramirez.
They've been expecting Manny to break out. They've been hoping that he's about to break out. Now they're pleading with him to break out. He's the big RBI man, but he has not had much luck with Keith Folk over the years, although his one hit against Folk was a home run. Today he has had one hit in 3 at-bats. One of only 2 hits he's had in the series. Now Ken Maka is going to go out to the mound. You have Melhuse already out there, the catcher, Tejada to the mound, and now they're all going to go out there with the manager Maka.
Well, we saw Maka walk Manny Ramirez last night in a tough situation, in an RBI situation. I don't think he's going to walk him here, but I think they want to make sure that they do not make any mistakes in certain areas of the plate. The point is they've been getting him out inside off the plate, but if you try to go inside and you don't get it all the way in off the plate, you know, you're pitching to his strength.
So Manny Ramirez, the great RBI man, but the Athletics have been able to shut him down in this series. Manny, with only the 2 hits in 15 at-bats, and he has left 10 men on base. He has ended 7 innings in the series. Last time he played in the division series was 4 years ago against Boston, and the Red Sox shut him down in that one. He was only 1 for 18 in that series. He had hit .357 in the division series before that. Red Sox need a hit. Nomar at second, 2 down. They're down by a run. And Folk with a slider off the outside.
I think you're going to see them stay away from him unless they get ahead in the count. Then he may try to come off the plate inside to finish the at-bat. But you do not want to make a mistake inside with a 1-run lead here in Boston.
You got the big left-handed slugger, Ortiz, on deck. Nomar ready to go in anything from second. 2 down. Fastball on the outside for a strike.
And Manny knows that they have been pitching him inside. The first pitch was away. He's thinking, well, they might come inside again. But he took that pitch to see. Now I think he'll realize he's just going to have to go after the ball wherever it is.
Now field backed up all the way around. Well, they go inside there. Strike 2. Manny seemed to be surprised by that call.
Well, it was a smart pitch by Folk. 2 pitches away. Now you come inside. And it gets the acceptable range there. Just hits the line.
Within 2 inches of being over the plate there. 1-2 the count. Now back to the outside, but missing. 2-2. I mean, these pitches, the whole season, could well be riding on each pitch. Boston's best RBI man at the plate. Oakland's best relief pitcher on the mound. And a base hit could tie this game. Curveball. That's into left field. Guillen's got the strong arm. He's in shallow left. They're going to hold him up.
Man.
And it's a good thing they did.
Now, that wasn't going to be close at the plate. And Nomar almost ran through the sign as he was being held up from the moment he rounded third. And Guillen was hoping that he would go.
So Manny got the hit and still doesn't get the RBI. Fenway worked against the Red Sox on this one.
Well, he threw him a curveball. He hadn't thrown him one in the entire sequence. He threw it. Now watch. When he pitched the ball up, now Nomar has to stop quickly, and that ball comes all the way in the air. Manny finally gets the base hit he's been looking for. He says yes, but he did not realize that he wasn't going to be able to score because it was a ground ball. He thought he might be able to score. But that's what the strong arm again in left field will do for you. As I said, this is their best defensive outfield.
And playing very shallow because the field is so shallow to begin with. Here's Ortiz inside. Ortiz has not had a hit in this series, but he does have some success, or has had in the past against Folk. 4 hits, 14 at-bats, including a home run. And now they're pleading with Ortiz to finally get that big hit. First and third, 2 down. And he fouls that one back onto the roof. A ball and a strike. Ortiz hit a fly ball to left field against Folk on Thursday in Oakland. That would have been off the wall here at Fenway. The only time he faced him in that ball game. A ball and a strike. Garcia Parra at third. Ramirez at first. High and tight. He's crowding him. 2-1. Ramirez helping lead the cheers from first base. Some are cheering and some are praying. 2-1 the count. And he lays off.
That ball, I heard it up here too. He sent the ball foul. I heard it. You could hear it all the way up here. But the home plate umpire obviously didn't hear it. Well, they should ask somebody. Ask one of the other umpires. Well, I guess they're not going to, but I thought I heard something up here as well.
Melhuse very upset.
Oh, actually hit the glove with his bat.
Well, he should be given first base.
Yeah. Melhuse felt the ball, felt something, and he thought it was a tip. I know I heard something.
And now Ortiz unable to get that pitch. Thought that went down a little bit more, but still in, still crowding it. 3-2. Garcia Parra at third. Ramirez at first, and even with 3-2 and 2 down, the first baseman, Hatterberg, stays in the bag with it. Keeping that hole open on the right side. There goes Ramirez. That ball is hit well. Deep to right. Dive. Can't get to it. Off the wall. One run is in. Here comes Ramirez. And the throw goes right to the middle of the infield. And Boston has gone ahead on the first hit of the series by David Ortiz. And it came at a big time. 5-4 Boston.
Well, they've had some other magical comfort behind victories here this season. And so it's never over. And they're going to pinch run for Ortiz, who has a bad knee.
And Ortiz will get the hero's welcome as he heads back to the dugout to the big crowd at Fenway. Nobody was better in the clutch in the stretch run than was David Ortiz. And his first hit of this series is huge. Now Kevin Millar with Brown at second. He changed up. 0-1. And the chant comes up now at Fenway. MVP.
I was wondering if Folk was going to actually pitch around Ortiz or try to get him to chase something because he had a right-handed hitter on deck, but he went right after him.
5-4. Boston is leading. Dive, battling the sun, makes the ground. Boston, a double by Garcia Parra off the wall. The single by Ramirez, and then Ortiz launching one over the head of Dye, and Boston suddenly has a 5-4 lead. It's the last chance for the Athletics. To the ninth inning, Burns, Ellis, and Durazo do up. 5-4 Red Sox.
Introducing Taco Bell's new spicy chicken burrito. Packed with shredded chicken, simmered in Mexican spices, loads of seasoned rice, and zesty fiesta salsa. It's a little spicy. Taco Bell's new spicy chicken burrito, just $1.29. To get your fill of this satisfying thrill, think outside the bun.
Let's see, I bought yellow pencils, yellow Post-it notes, yellow boxers. Yellow boxers.
$14.
Land courier, air courier, pedicure, reader.
$137.
2 printers, 2 scanners, 2 tutus.
$540. Keeping business expenses separate from personal expenses? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Apply online for the MasterCard business card.
Comedy rules on ABC Tuesday. When Jim gets caught cheating in church,
your conscience is going to eat at you.
will his life turn into a living hell? An all new According to Jim at 9/8 Central. Comedy rules on ABC Tuesday.
Try a delicious breakfast sandwich on a freshly baked bagel from Dunkin' Donuts. It's just the thing you've been waiting for.
You're the one who drives the deal at Bangor Chrysler Dodge. Come and talk to the people who dare to be different at Bangor Chrysler Dodge. It's where the good deals never end. It's like buying a car from a trusted friend, and that's the way it's always been. At Bangor Chrysler Dodge, yeah.
You drive the deal at Bangor Chrysler Dodge.
Boston leading by a run, and Scott Williamson stays in there for the 9th inning. He pitched a perfect 8th inning. Now Eric Burns taking ball 1 inside. Leadoff man Mark Ellis will follow, and then Rubiel Durazo due up 3rd in the inning. Chavez will be due 4th. David Ortiz with the big hit for Boston. Now can the bullpen hang on to it? This bullpen, by the way, they pitched 4 perfect innings last night, including the 11th inning thrown by Williamson, who got the win in that ball game. They also pitched the 2 shutout innings at the end of the Thursday afternoon game in Oakland. Williamson had one of those. And today the bullpen's gone 2 2/3 shutout innings with Wakefield and Williamson. 8 2/3 shutout innings for this bullpen now in the last 3 games. And that's a strike to the fastball. 2-1. The bullpen will be ready. Embry, the left-hander, is up. And Timlin, one of last night's heroes, with 3 perfect innings himself, also up again. Williamson, the former Cincinnati closer, not trying to close off his own win to keep the Red Sox alive for a trip to Oakland. 2-2. Burns is 1 for 3 in this game. Damian Jackson now playing second base for the Red Sox, by the way. A defensive change made. Jackson in for Walker. He struck him out. Good slider.
You got to hit him with the fastball and then finishes him off with a slider. Out of the strike zone.
Game 1 in Oakland. Boston had a 1-run lead into the 9th inning and could not hold it. There was a walk, then a hit batsman, and ultimately Rubiel Durazo got a hit to tie the game that went extra innings. Ellis, and that's a strike. I mean, for the Athletics, I mean, this is beyond belief. Could this be happening again? Way inside and off the glove of Varitek. 1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, they had that 2-0 lead against the Yankees 2 years ago, and they were going home. And yet they lost 3 in a row. They had a 2-1 lead last year and lost the last 2 to the Twins. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. And that breaking ball right there. Strike 2.
Well, Scott Williamson was a closer before, so he has a closing mentality. And that's probably why Jimmy Williams decided to leave him out there instead of bringing someone else out of the bullpen.
Yeah, why not? He's throwing great in this series. 4 1/3 shutout innings. 7 strikeouts. Make it 8. He has struck out 3 in a row, including Dye to win the 8th inning. 2 down. They're getting ready to head to the airport now. And Pedro Martinez will be handed the ball tomorrow at the Coliseum if Williamson can get this final out. Pedro would be going on full rest against Barry Zito, who would be working on short rest for the first time in his career. Durazo, who drove in the tying run in game 1 in the 9th inning. Bill Miller in shallow left. He's got it. And the Red Sox have tied the series. They're going to head to Logan for the flight to Oakland and a game 5 with Pedro and Zito. The Red Sox have risen from the dead. And for the Athletics, an all too familiar story. For the Athletics, they lost their starter, Hudson, after 1. And even so, they had a lead into the 8th. And their best pitcher for late in the game on the mound, Folk, but he could not hold it, not this time.
Well, the one thing we have to say about the Red Sox, and that's what good hitters do. They just keep swinging, and eventually something good happens. I mean, they were struggling. Manny Ramirez, he got the big hit, and then followed by even bigger hit by David Ortiz. But these guys have been producing for the Red Sox all year, and right here at the brink of disaster, they do it again. So you have to give them credit. Nothing is ever settled here in this ballpark. Well, Scott Williamson was throwing hard. He gets a fastball away, and Durazo pops it up. And we're going to Oakland.
So the Boston Red Sox with a 5-4 win. This time it was the Red Sox who come from behind against the other team's bullpen. The Red Sox bullpen again was sensational for 3 2/3 shutout innings. Johnny Damon, who propelled the comeback in the beginning with a homer and a great throw. He's standing by in the field with Gary Miller.
Johnny is supposed to be the big guys in this order that do the power hitting, but somebody had to do it. You guys finally woke up your bats today. Are you prouder of the home run or the throw that nailed Guillen?
Probably the throw that nailed Guillen, because if I don't get them, they've got second and third, and we're in deep trouble right there. But I'm just happy with our players. You know, David hasn't gotten a hit this whole series. He comes up big for us, and you know, we said we're going to play in front of our home fans, give them a great show, and we're going to take it back to Oakland. We believed in ourselves.
You know, you weren't here back then, but Lou Merlone said, one of the 7 guys who was here when they were down 2 games to none to Cleveland, has said right after you guys lost game 2 out there, you started talking about it in your clubhouse. Have you felt, if you got a little room to breathe, that you had the driver's seat then?
Well, we feel like we have the driver's seat because we have Pedro going tomorrow, and we know Pedro's going to be on, so I'm just happy. I mean, the fans have been awesome. I mean, this is what playoff baseball is all about. Here at Fenway, there's nothing quite like it.
You know, Nixon was shamed into getting his haircut. He did it himself during the game and hit a game-winning homer. Lowe cut his after he pitched so great last night. What about you now, Johnny?
Well, you know, I've been taking enough abuse about my mullet all year, and finally it's getting away from the mullet stage. And, you know, I've got to try to look good during the offseason, you know. You know, I told the guys, it's not the hair, it's the confidence you hold within yourself. So the haircut's not going to do a difference. If they believe in it, it's going to work for them. But me, I like the long hair, and it's good to stand out.
Okay, well, best of luck on the flight, and hopefully they can change things for their sake out in Oakland, John.
All right, Gary, and is it the hair? Is it the rally karaoke guy? Is it cowboying up? or are they just maybe just good?
I think it's a combination of all those things. I think they did cowboy up because they never did give in. And that's, I mean, this is a good Boston team, and I was surprised that it took them this long to break out, but they picked the right time. But they'll still have to go out and beat Zito. I mean, it's not as over and done situation because Pedro's pitching.
Great matchup tomorrow, 4 o'clock or 8 o'clock Eastern time, depending on what happens with the other game at Minnesota today. The final score here, 5-4. The Red Sox have come from behind to beat Oakland to set up a Game 5. For Joe Morgan and Gary Miller and our entire ESPN crew, this is John Miller from Fenway Park. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We're going to send you now to the...
Part of being a manager, you're going to be second.